Before I start this video about assignments, I just wanted to clarify, if your child is a key worker child or a vulnerable child and they're in school every day, this video is not applicable because they will be having feedback and their work seen by an adult in a different way. If your child is a key worker or vulnerable child and they're in school some days, you may want to use assignments to submit work if they complete work on the days they're at home. And finally, this video is aimed at children who are doing the home learning online and they need to submit their work for their teachers to be able to see. Hello, this is a video for parents or children to show you how to go through the assignments and to find and submit an assignment. So when you're on Teams, you need to go through the sidebar on the left. And if you click on the assignments button, it will take your child to this view. And this shows them any assignments that are past due or any assignments that are up and coming. And the great thing is it shows you when the assignment is due, so you can go and have a look at when they're due and it will hopefully show you them really clearly. Now I'm going to show you how to submit an English assignment and how to view it. So if you click on the English assignment button, it will take you through to a new page. Now when you click on English, it will show you something that looks like this. And you can see on the left, it talks about when the assignment is due, but then it also says when it closes. So there is a late hand-in time. So if you aren't ready to submit it tomorrow at 6, you're still able to submit it until January the 18th at 4 p.m. So there's a little bit of buffer there. There's also instructions for your child which they really need to read carefully. So it says when you finish your diary entries, submit a Word document or photos of them for your teacher to give you some feedback. Make sure you look at the rubric attached so you know how to be successful in your writing. And as you can see, I have circled the section where the rubric is, and it's really important that your child clicks on that rubric if there is one there so that they know how to be successful. It's worth saying here that if they are doing a foundation subject, for example RE, science or geography, there won't be a rubric. This is an example of a Year 5 rubric. It will look slightly different for younger children and it will be at the age appropriate level. So you can see for Year 5 children that there are 3 things that we want them to do in their writing. For formality, we want them to use appropriate informal language. For punctuation, we want them to use contractions with an apostrophe correctly punctuated. And for vocabulary, we want them to use actions to show, not tell, how a character is feeling. Now, everything in the rubric will be something that we've either taught this week or we've gone over before. So hopefully no children will look at it and say, I don't know what that means. Teachers have thought really carefully about what to include in the rubric. And as I said before, it will be age appropriate. So if your child is in Year 1, their rubric won't look like this. We really want to encourage children to make sure that they have looked at the rubric because the teacher's feedback is going to be based on the rubric. This way they will be really successful. So once you've looked at the rubric and you press close, it will bring you back to this main page again. And when your child is ready to submit some work, they can click on the Add Work and the Paperclip button at the bottom. That's a little link that will take you through to a new screen. By clicking on the link, it will then show you this pop-up window and you can select work, that could be pictures or a Word document, to upload as your assignment. The best way is to go on to upload from this device in the bottom left corner, and that will then bring up a pop-up box again where you can find the work. We recommend saving it to a desktop or somewhere that it's easy to find, and you can submit your work. Now, as you can see, when I go back to my main page, I can see that my work is submitted. So, for example, on this piece of work, I have submitted a diary entry as a Word document. Now, this last step is really important. It's really important that your child presses turn in. If they don't press turn in, it doesn't quite appear for the teachers in the same way and it might be missed. So pressing turn in will mean that your work is submitted and the teachers can then have a good look at it. When your child has uploaded their work and submitted it, a fun little animation often happens in the corner of the screen. It's really important to notice that this page has changed slightly and now it shows the date and the time that it was turned in with a little tick. And instead of saying turn in, it says undo turn in. So that tells you that it is done and it's been submitted to the teachers. Once the assignment has been submitted and turned in, your assignment page will look a little bit different. So now you can see that the English assignment is no longer in assigned and it's now in completed. If you notice that the English assignment that you think you've turned in is still in the assigned section at the top, it probably means that you haven't pressed turn in. So just going into that and pressing turn in will finish that process off. Now, in the next few days, the teachers will be having a look at these assignments and giving some feedback. And it's really handy when your assignment has been returned to you, when the teachers have looked at it, it will pop up in the activity feed on the left-hand side. And as you can see, it shows assignment returned. It's also worth noticing that there will also be a little circle next to the assignments, which shows you that there's a notification in there. But by going through the activity feed, when you press on assignment returned, it takes you straight to the returned assignment. And there you can see some feedback, and there is also some more feedback on the rubric. So just to confirm, if there's a little red dot in assignments, it doesn't quite show you in the same way. It doesn't bring up the assignment straight away. If you want to see your little red dot in assignments, you then go into completed and press on the English assignment, and then it will come up the finished assignment with some feedback. And there are two places to find feedback, which is really important. The first one is the top red circle where it says feedback. This is where the teacher will put a little message to say well done and the fact that they've added some merits. This feedback is not personalised, so you won't get any personal feedback there. However, if you click on the rubric section, where the second red box is, that's where your child will see what they've completed well and what their next steps are. Now, when you click on the rubric section, after the teacher has marked it, there will be different colours on your screen. If an objective is dark blue, that means that your child has completed that objective. So, for example, this child has used appropriate and formal language, and they have used contractions with an apostrophe. The section that is in light blue is the next step, so that's what would normally be green on their rubric at school. So I can see that this child hasn't used actions to show, not tell how a character is feeling, and their next step would be to edit for that. Now, what would be great is after your child has read their feedback, they can then make changes and edit just like they normally do in school. So what I would encourage my Year 5 children to do is to look at their rubric, realise what they need to do next, and then make an edit on their Word document or on their piece of paper. Now, when you've then made that change, they can add their new work to where it says add work. You can see the original diary entry. They could add a new one which says edit or edited, and then you can turn in again. And what that means is it then goes back to the teacher can see their edited version and can give extra merits and extra well dones for them for having another go, just like we would in school. The process for uploading work for foundation subjects is very similar to the process we've just talked through. The only difference being there won't be a rubric, just like we don't have rubrics in school for these sessions. There will still be instructions, and it will specify in the heading which foundation subjects we would like children to submit. It's really useful to know that you can submit multiple pieces of work at one time. When you click on add work, you can select multiple pieces and upload them all at once. So for example, in Year 5, we are asking children to submit work for RE and for science and for geography, and it will be all in one place.